My name is Ima, and I am 30 years old. Today, I'm going to tell you about my story. I want to be an example to anyone else who might make the same mistake I did. But please, don't try to judge and listen to my story first. I got married 5 years ago, and many friends of mine were jealous of me. My husband name is Tom. He is a famous dentist and makes good money, but he is soft and quiet, and maybe that is his problem. He always keeps to himself and doesn't want anything to do with social gatherings or visits. He doesn't even want us to have any relationship with the neighbors or family members. This is not his only flaw. Tom is a man who would keep count of everything. I wouldn't say he is mean. We eat and wear whatever we want. But we don't really go out and enjoy ourselves. He thinks that all these things are necessary and that it's better to save the money for inflation. We don't have any children too. But I don't complain at all. My life with my introverted husband, who would spend most of his time outside, wasn't going well. There were no social gathering and no children. I even considered working to keep myself busy. But he would always say that he didn't like for me to get mixed with people, and that there was no need for me to work and make an effort. I would always tell him that I was bored and wanted to visit my friend and family. But he would always refuse and say that people are nothing but a source of problem. He wanted me to read books, watching TV, or even learn swim to have a good time. Tom didn't care for my feeling and needs as a human. I needed his presence in the house and wanted someone to talk to. Life is not just about eating and going to sleep. I was very lonely. I wished I was dead. What is life without children, a partner, or a job to achieve my dreams? Many of you will say that I am a spoiled woman who doesn't appreciate her husband, who doesn't insult her, and provides for her. But believe me, loneliness has changed everything inside me, and that is what you are going to learn now. My problems began with one of my friends. I told her about my situation, and strangely enough, she was suffering from the same problem. She urged me to go on social media to fill that void and said that her life is changing now that she is able to meet lots of friends. After many attempts to convince him, Tom finally agreed to have internet in the house. My friend was right. I was in a whole other world, and the time flew fast. I didn't even wait for Tom to come home. I wanted to live in this virtual world that I had created to myself. I made lots of friends, and we talked about our problem and all. Everything was going as planned. Until I met Brad. He was a gentleman and would always listen to me and hear what I had to say. I had finally found someone who could understand me. We were just friends. And I didn't give him my number. We would only chat. One day, I got a call from our internet provider telling me that the internet will be down for 1 month. I was going crazy. How could I leave month like this? I can't go back to being alone. My only solution was to give Brad my phone number so we could communicate because he had become very important in my life. One time, and well, we were talking over the phone. My battery was dying. So, he asked me about the landline number so we could keep talking. I hesitated in the beginning, but since I enjoyed talking to him, I gave him the number. This was my biggest mistake. His attitude towards me started to change. He started asking me about the pictures and wanted to talk about things that I would rather not discuss with him. Not only that, he wanted to meet me. And as I kept rejecting his request, his real personality started showing, and he has turned into a strong person. He threatened to call the London number at night and tell my husband about all our problems and secrets. This could surely ruin everything. I could feel that my life was being destroyed and didn't know what to do. Do I agree to his blackmail and give up my principles, or do I let him to call my husband and ruin my life? I kept telling him every day, and they would find an excuse for not meeting him. Eventually, I was out of excuse, and Brad started losing his tempers. He gave me a final warning and told me that he would destroy my life if I didn't carry out all these requests. I really don't know what to do. Do I tell my husband knowing that he will never forgive me? Do I agree to his demands? I live in my humiliation my whole life? Am I the only one responsible? I know that my husband's neglection is not an excuse, but he should at least assume some kind of responsibility. Because I don't think I would have been in this situation if he had shown at least some attention. So please, tell me what to do.